Greetings, thank you for lending an ear to the Voice of the Times for Saturday, December 18, 2021. For today's editorial, create a supra-cabinet body to address digitalization. Last week, the World Bank announced that it had approved a $600 million loan to the Philippines to help accelerate the country's recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. A key objective of the new loan is to support the government's continuing efforts to expand digital connectivity, both within the government as well as the population at large. Based on our conversation with Dr. Nyami Diop, the World Bank Country Director for Brunei, Malaysia, Philippines, and Thailand earlier this week, we believe that the most effective way to advance this effort is to create an above cabinet level commission to set and carry out coordinated digitalization policies. The benefits of digitalization are clear and well understood. And it is not an exaggeration to say that without the level of connectivity that has already been achieved, both in the public and private sectors, the country's economic circumstances during the pandemic would have quickly gone from temporarily very bad to catastrophic for an extended period of time. Digital connectivity, which is admittedly still quite far from being inclusive of the entire population or completely reliable, allowed many businesses to survive and some to even flourish during the extended period of pandemic restrictions, kept families in touch with each other and with needed government services, and created a vast new class of online entrepreneurs. The goal of the government, with the support of the World Bank, is to expand that into a permanent state of affairs for all Filipinos, in part because the future may very well hold another pandemic or similar crisis, and in part because the advantages of the connectivity are permanent, whether the country is facing an emergency or not. The problem in the bank's view is that an effective digital connectivity policy is unavoidably broad-based, requiring the inputs and coordination of many stakeholders. Unlike some other countries, the Philippines does not have a Ministry of Information with broad policy-setting powers. We do have the Department of Information and Communication Technology, or DICT, one of the advances in the country's digital transformation achieved under the Duterte administration, but its mandate is limited, focusing mainly on physical infrastructure and service provision. Creating an entirely new cabinet department analogous to a Ministry of Information might prove difficult. The public may be understandably skeptical of the additional expenditure and wary of the necessarily far-reaching authority it would need in order to be effective. On the political side, every other department in the government might be resistant to having a part of their areas of responsibility and influence transferred, along with the corresponding budget, no doubt, to another cabinet office. There is, however, another way to achieve the same results of coordinated policy without reinventing the wheel, so to speak, and it is a way for which there is ample successful precedent. The government should consider creating a high-level commission, one which includes all the departments and agencies concerned to manage all policies related to digital connectivity. It is, as a matter of fact, standard operating procedure for many broad policy areas and has been through numerous administrations. Dr. Diop noted the success of the National Anti-Poverty Commission in significantly reducing poverty incidence in the Philippines in the years prior to the pandemic as one example. Other examples include the Climate Change Commission, the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, and of course, the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases. Certainly, all of these have been subject to criticisms at times, and calls made for their dissolution or replacement. None have been a perfect solution, but the fact remains that they have all been effective. Poverty has decreased. The pandemic notwithstanding, the country has improved in terms of climate adaptation and mitigation and disaster response, and the IATF, as frustrating as it often can be, has managed to keep the Philippines from suffering the truly disastrous consequences from the COVID-19 pandemic that we have observed in some other countries. Given that track record, the prospects for progress and positive results from forming a similar body to manage the country's digital transformation are promising. It is an idea that the next administration should carefully consider implementing. And that's the editorial for Saturday, December 18, 2021. For more news and information, get a copy of the Manila Times on print. Subscribe to its digital edition or log on to www.manilatimes.net Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram and listen to the Voice of the Times.